2012. In Los Angeles, California, the second ever League of Legends World Championship was about to take place. Despite the European team Fnatic taking the trophy in the first ever Worlds tournament the year before, this year was different. The seemingly unbeatable Korean and Chinese players had begun entering tournaments and were poised to take the trophy without too much of a fight from the other regions. But there was a wild card, a team that some people said shouldn't even be there. To this day, they remain the only group of players to ever take a world championship away from a Korean or Chinese team. This is their story. The story of how they changed the way that League of Legends was played forever, and the story of how their star player would be forever followed by controversy.
别的不说了，就是希望大家未来如果真的内心有想要。
TPA weren't your typical competitive league team for a multitude of reasons, but let's begin by talking about servers. When League of Legends first launched in 2009, it was released in Europe and North America exclusively. The fact that it was only released in these two regions to start helped Western players get a leg up on the competition. In fact, for the first World Championship in 2011, the game hadn't even been released in Korea and China yet. Due to this, when you look at the results from this Worlds, you won't actually see any Chinese or Korean teams, and they're the ones who are typically seen as unbeatable by any other region. Out of the 8 teams that were entered, there was 3 from NA, 3 from EU, but 2 from a region that doesn't get mentioned as often, SEA or Southeast Asia. SEA's server was born out of a partnership between Riot Games and Garena in 2010. Garena was a company from Singapore who would basically run the server for Riot, but this meant that the SEA server was never quite the same as anywhere else. Being the third server ever created, there wasn't any rules or regulations in place by Riot, and Garena was the only league server that operated as its own entity, separate from Riot entirely. This meant that things worked differently in the region. RP was different, skins were different, events were different, stat sleds like op.gg didn't even work. This led to some really interesting cases where SEA players would start forming their own meta that was separate from what NA and EU would consider to be the strongest picks.
They had vastly different picks than a lot of the teams here, so they innovate their own strategy, right?
They played the game much more aggressively compared to teams in the West, taking skirmishes and invading the enemy jungler. This hadn't really been seen before, and in international play, this could be used to their advantage. Despite being able to take games off TSM, who were, at the time, the undisputed kings of North America, their lack of experience as a region proved to be their downfall, and they never found much success in the tournament. But if experience was all they needed, Season 2 was about to change everything. Shortly after the end of the Season 1 World Championship, a new team was about to form in Taiwan, named For The Win. At first, the team consisted of Stanley and Mistake, who met while playing solo queue. A mutual friend introduced them to their future jungler, Lil Bowls, who already had competitive experience with a brief stint on the North American team CLG during 2010. Together, the team would compete in World Cyber Games 2011, surpassing expectations, but unfortunately they weren't able to make it out of their group, falling to the Korean team, Najin EM Fire, or as they were more commonly known, Najin Sword. This team included some of Korea's strongest players, including a player named Mac Noon, their top laner. Remember this because it'll be important later. After their defeat at World Cyber Game in 2011, For The Win were forced to make a small roster change after their mid laner, A8000, retired. So they picked up a player named Toys. Toys had a little competitive experience, but mostly he was known for his reputation of being an exceptional solo queue player. At the same time, Garena, the organization that ran the Southeast Asian servers, was so impressed with the team's performance they decided to officially sponsor them. And on that day, the Taipei Assassins were born.
Double kill for the Ezreal, gonna be taken out to Graves. That's a triple down onto Mundo. Will he be able to clean up Bebe? Going for the quadra, does get loose. Zilra, will he get? That's the pentakill coming in from TPA.
It quickly became apparent that there was something different about this team. They just played better than they should have, and their explosive playstyle, forged from the foundations of scrappy skirmishes that characterized the often looked down upon Southeast Asian server, was proving them a force to be reckoned with. The team shot through most of the local competitions they played for the rest of the year with dominance, and Worlds was rapidly approaching. But they were about to get their first taste of international competition. Less than 3 months away from Worlds, they attended the Leaguecraft GG Classic. Teams from all over the world were attending, and TPA quickly realized that the level of competition was stronger than they could have ever imagined.
And the good games, there's a surrender vote, 5 surrender votes to nothing, and the good games are coming out now for everybody. So very well played by NTWNA.
With Worlds just around the corner, the world began to doubt if SEA's Wonder Team had what it took to compete on an international level. Despite this, when the Season 2 regional qualifiers rolled around, TPA managed to put on a dominant display, cementing their spot at the Season 2 World Championship without dropping a single game. However, again, they faced a speed bump. CLG EU, a contender for the best team in Europe at the time, had travelled to the finals for a show match against the qualifying team from the Southeast Asian region. And, once again, it looked like TPA weren't ready for the level of play that international teams were bringing to the table.
Ultimate though, but there's the Lulu ultimate on Snoopy, so it looks like he's gonna be okay. Crepple though might go down. His toys with the Defile is gonna tick away. Wicked very low, gets stuck by the wall of paint, is gonna get taken out by Carthus there, but now Stanley is extremely low. Yellow Pete, he's in a 3v1. He might take down all of Taipei Assassin.
Although they were already qualified, most teams and viewers had written them off as nothing but a bump in the road, something to be overlooked. But that wasn't all there was to their story. Remember Najin Sword and MacNoon? Yeah, we spoke about them earlier. MacNoon was one of Korea's most accomplished players at the time, and not only that, he was also well known throughout the international community, due to the fact that he played League on the NA servers before the Korean one had officially launched. As it would turn out though, there was more to the relationship between MacNoon and the Taipei Assassins than most people thought. The draw for the Season 2 World Championship had just taken place, and TPA's fate looked like it had already been sealed. Their first match was against Najin Sword, the Korean powerhouse and the team that they'd previously lost to in an international tournament. But the night before the games, Toys posted this. As you guys probably know, tomorrow TPA is going to be up against Najin, and you guys probably know of the player MacNoon. I'd like to share a story here. About a year ago, a little nobody who'd just hit 2000 ELO in Season 1 thought he was hot stuff. This little nobody learned of MacNoon through a friend, and the friend asked that nobody if he'd be interested in playing against MacNoon. Not knowing what he was getting into, that nobody agreed. After 3 matches, that nobody came to learn the meaning of the Chinese proverb, there are mountains beyond mountains, heavens beyond the heavens, i.e. there's always someone better than you. He got stomped. Throughout Season 2, for that whole year, that nobody told himself that he'd work and get better than MacNoon. Tomorrow, that nobody is going to be facing off against MacNoon on the same stage. That little nobody was me.
End up just trading with flashes.
Mid lane, Song is going to get caught higher. First person's going to come in. It is going to be Toys that picks it up. And they're going to try and get the steal. The smite steal is almost certainly going to have to be used. Instead, they're going to stun on towards Snowballs. There's the Oriana ultimate. There's going to be the absolute zero following up. Snowballs is taken down by Song. Song's going to get dropped immediately on the back of that one. They're going to turn their attention to Kane. Kane should go down on the back of this one. Yes, he will. It was a double kill for Toys.
Double your damage as soon as you complete that on top of the Nunu. And now that they have the Jace poke from
They're going to
Stanley,
fight the Oriana. Ultimate pops across. Toys drops Prey down before he had chance to react to that one. He gets a second. Song's going to get dropped as well. That's going to be Cogwell picking it up, but Watch is going to get stripped down. A double kill, and that's going to be the dunk at the end with a triple kill for Bebe. An unbelievable play. They just managed to catch the Oriana ultimate again and again. Toys is just shredding them apart. Honestly, GG's given. That's going to be Taipei Assassins taking game 1 against Najin Sword. Nobody gave them credit for it, but they have proved they deserve to be here right now.
TPA had one major advantage, and they knew they had to play into it. Being from Southeast Asia, no one had really seen them play before. They had strong picks that no one else really knew about, and they intended to keep it that way. Toys' signature pick was Oriana. Although she's a staple of competitive play today, back then she wasn't nearly as popular. But TPA were about to change that forever.
The Snake's going to go for a hook through the wall here. Is it going to be a blind? He's caught MacNoon! He's caught MacNoon! Can he do the damage on him? He does manage to get a lead strike away, and Millballs has gone aggressive. He's gone deep. Crescendo comes across. They do manage to shut him down. That's going to be Song also going in there. Manages to get the Morgana ultimate, but they get the power fist on towards Song. Song's going to get dropped. That's a double kill for Toys.
This corridor so the Crescendo can hit. There's a pull.
They're coming around the back. There's the pull. And the Watch was coming around the backside though. This time MacNoon is going to jump in. He's going to go towards Toys. The Crescendo goes across. Millballs is going to get dropped very quickly this time. Could Najin Sword pull this fight back? They need to keep this fight up. They need to, or they will be out of this tournament. Surely no, because Taipei doesn't get the whole ace off the back of that one. And Najin Sword initiated. Could that be Taipei Assassins going through to the semi-final versus Moscow 5? GG given. That is it. 2-0 Taipei Assassins. They take it.
Taipei Assassins surprising everyone but themselves in here. They were the #1 seed from their region for a reason. They had the bye. They're showing that they are a very strong team. There's the emotion coming out from Lone Balls, screaming at each other.
I'm at a loss for words right now. Yes, it's only the semi-finals, but for me, the nobody, I've proven something. 2-0 Najin. MacNoon came over, gave me a hug and said quietly, "I'm proud of you." That just sent me over the top. I consider MacNoon one of my mentors, and regardless of who won, he's still one of the players that I respect the most. They were in the semi-finals, but their next opponent would be arguably the best team that Western League of Legends has ever produced. League of Legends is a high-stress game, especially when you play it competitively. That's why today's video is sponsored by War Thunder. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, and it's available now for free on PC and consoles. You can take command of over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships of 10 major nations, ranging from biplanes and armoured cars of the 1920s to the fighter jets and main battle tanks of today. You can immerse yourself in the intense combat of War Thunder, where incredibly detailed vehicles, realistic graphics, and authentic sound effects place you right at the helm of the most powerful war machines of our time. With a community of over 70 million players and an unmatched wealth of high quality content to discover, there's simply no game better suited for fans of military history. War Thunder has one of the most sophisticated vehicle damage models in gaming. Every vehicle is intricately modelled down to its individual components like engines, fuel tanks, weapons, and crew, all susceptible to damage or disabling from enemy fire, and different types of armour, shells, and missiles behave like their real world counterparts. Play War Thunder for free on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox now by using my link in the pinned comment or video description. New and returning players that haven't played in 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack across all platforms that includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium. It's available for a limited time only, so be quick.
Hunt down Sivir. She's trying to recall. He knows she's there. The flash in and the ultimate from Sona.
Moscow 5, the undisputed kings of Western League of Legends. In a way, these 5 were almost like TPA's Russian counterparts. Although when the Season 2 World Championship rolled around, they were recognised as a force to be reckoned with, they started out as the scrappy underdogs. Alex Ich, who originally wasn't even a mid laner, Darian, their top laner, who seemingly had no idea what the meta champions or items were, and in fact you could probably say that about most of the players on that team. Cannon ADC, Warwick top, Karma jungle, solo ADC Urgot, support Elise, the list just went on. But it worked for them. The first game went about as you'd expect. Moscow 5 dominated the Southeast Asian challenges, but they'd gotten this far and they weren't ready to give up yet. TPA's top laner Stanley had a bit of a secret weapon, Nidalee. She wasn't an unpopular champion by any means, but no one could play her to her limits quite like the Taiwanese top laner. On top of this, he also ran teleport. While it's pretty standard to see top laners and sometimes even mid laners running TP these days, back in Season 2, Ignite was the far more popular option. This choice to run teleport gave TPA incredible control over the map, and Stanley's Nidalee took over the game.
He's gotta get closer and closer on those items. He's got Phantom Dancer, but he needs Xerxes, he needs Infinity Edge.
Going after Alex. He does not have his ultimate up. Stanley able to take him down, but this is going to be the fight between Alex and Stanley and Diamond rather. Too much speed coming from Nidalee. Oh, Genja taking so much damage from Stanley, but he's able to trade it back here. He may have enough mana to get this. That W is still on. Throws out the living artillery, but here goes Baby. Slams him against the wall. The Yorick ulti is on, so he will come back to life, but he's instantly brought back down again. Trying to stay in this fight. It is going to be Diamond Procs going down. A huge initiation for BB, and he finally falls. The shutdown going to Darian in this fight. Alex East's Chrono Shift is down. Darian there to keep that pressure on. Gosu can lock them down into the turret. Stanley gets out of that, and it's just huge pressure from Taipei Assassins right now. Darian is, however, able to clean up a few kills for his team. It's now 3-3, or 4-3 now. Finally, the last auto attack and double kill for Toys. The ace onto Moscow 5. Moscow 5 not exactly flustered, but I think this is the first time we have seen them not be able to answer a strategy. The suffocation from Taipei Assassins just too much. Huge damage coming from that Orianna Shockwave. First Nexus turret, the second Nexus turret, the Nexus now. Game 3, Moscow 5 forced to defend on the fountain, and it's going to be a huge matchup. Your first semifinal match going into a best of 3 between Taipei and Moscow 5.
Going into Game 3, Moscow 5 didn't ban Nidalee, choosing instead to take away Stanley's Jace. Of course, back then, each team only got 3 bans, so maybe they just thought that Jace was a stronger champion than Nidalee was. Stanley wasted no time though in letting them know that they'd made the wrong choice.
We see
very low health on Toys as well. He's forced to go back into the fight. The portion of it, they know they're going to win. Stanley still giving 0 F's as he just fights in a 2v1 situation. 35 minutes into the game, TPA completely dictating this entire fight. We have 2 down for Moscow 5 NQ. Stanley just jumping right out of Absolute Zero as Q-Top Barrage hits, and you can see they're keeping them from backing. Stanley is allowing this Baron to go completely uncontested. I think they will initiate this fight on. The turret goes down. Darian gets caught out. He can't even ultimate the Crescendo, stopping them from using the abilities. Diamond Prox goes down. The inhibitor is open. The double kill comes out. Moscow 5 looking very grim right now. Taipei Assassins look to take down the last Nexus turret, and they will drop Moscow 5 from the League of Legends Championship playoffs.
And would you look at that, the cheers, the yells, and the look of relief all mixed at the same time on their faces. Taipei Assassins are the first team to make it to the World Finals.
What's most heartening is that even when everyone thought you were just a nobody, we were able to make all of this happen through our own strength. Undoubtedly, facing stronger opponents has only made ourselves stronger. Versus M5, TPA's power was unleashed, and we 2-1'd one of the world's top teams. And now, the world knows who we are. I love you guys. The World Championship, and also the strongest opponent they'd ever have to face, was now within arm's reach. Azubu Frost, the #1 seed from Korea, had absolutely demolished every other team that they'd come up against. But there was a bit more to it than that. They'd been shrouded in controversy ever since the World Championship began. See, the Season 2 arena had a huge design flaw. This is where the players were. And, directly behind them, on a huge screen, was the live spectator view of the game, showing the current whereabouts of every single player. All someone had to do was slightly turn their head and they'd be able to see every single player on the enemy team. And that is what Azubu Frost's CD Carry Wung did.
From the League of Legends forums, Riot Vice President of Esports Dustin Beck outlined that Korean team Azubu Frost has been found guilty of unsportsmanlike conduct.
In Game 1 of their series against TSM on the group stage, Azubu Frost suspiciously pinged the exact location of all 5 players on TSM 15 seconds into the game. This led Shy to check the top brush for an invade that they otherwise wouldn't have known was coming. Knowing for sure now that all 5 TSM members were on the top side of the map, Azubu Frost could safely invade the bottom half of the map. As a result, they were fined $30,000, which equated to 20% of their winnings that they received from advancing into the semi-finals, and it was now time for them to face off against the Taiwanese underdogs.
If they can fight after this though, TPA would want to. They might try for an engage here.
Might try and go for the gauge. There's going to be the ultimate coming out from Moon. Isn't enough? Toys is surely going to get dropped. He's down to an egg right now. Cloud Templar is getting dived on. The damage really coming from his wound though at the back.
Just he's bleeding up.
Stanley gets 1, Stanley gets 2. BD gets the other one. That's going to be the Cardinals ultimate. He might pop over this one. He gets the quadra kill. He gets the quadra kill. Off the back. My word, Stanley though, he's trying to avoid the damage.
While TPA fought well, a huge team fight from Rapid Star on Karthus turned the tides for Azubu Frost, and they took out the first game.
54 kills, 42-minute victory.
At the start of Game 2, TPA caught out Mad Life trying to ward the bot side river early game, and picked up an early kill, giving them an early lead.
We are seeing that bottom lane, they are very low. The Karthus ultimate not coming out, the sniper's going to come across, that's going to catch Mad Life. Here comes the Karthus ultimate, they might get a double kill, no. A heal comes from Wound, it saves one, but that's going to be the kill of the top lane, the bottom lane, sorry. Here we see Toys going in towards that, there's the teleport from Toys. Wall of Pain not quite landing, but Rapid Star's going to get...
Oh, Shen too!
The rebound blitz goes in, and that's going to be Shen coming across, they're going to try and get out towards Shy. Rapid Star's going to get dropped, can they take Shy down as well? They do! And it's 3 kills! Meanwhile down the bottom, there's another trade!
That's an ace!
It's the Soda going down, they managed to ace them! Here's the power they do, they got it very quickly, the Wall of Pain landed, the Crescendo gets across, Mad Life is going to get caught down here. Fist to go, he's got the Oracle, he's trying to use as much as he can, Lil Ball's getting involved, Ace in the hole being blocked off by Wu, not the ideal target, Toys is going to get ready, Toys goes down, first death of the game, that's going to be Coley, Requiem's going to come out, it's going to be Cloud, but it's a triple kill again, Rapid Star getting caught out, Rapid Star's going to drop in a wall, just about keeping up.
TPA, led by their star mid laner, Toys, showed that they weren't going down without a fight.
Again, bringing out that surprise pick at the start, Caitlyn, something they couldn't expect, and so dominating. TPA coming back strong. Awareness They're very scary right now. They're going for that Oracle.
They're going for little balls, actually. They're diving in. That's going to be one ultimate use. Can they catch him out with another? Doesn't matter. Ultimate was used for little balls. He's waxed away. Shockwave used by Cloud Templar. Pulls him in. Shockwave's that's going to be an Oracle burn from Toys. Beautiful, beautiful play by Toys there to single-handedly take down Cloud Templar without the rest of the team realizing what was happening behind them. Toys seem to be in charge. They're going to close it on Woong. They're going to have the capture rate. They've got the Rapid Star. Rapid Star flashes Woong around the side. Woong with absolute zero being used. That's going to be one down. Rapid Star drop. Woong is going to drop as well. Stanley gets another. Mad Light goes down. Baby all over him. Shy has to run away. And they have a 5-man terror squad.
And TPA can continue the pressure. Here they come.
And they immediately realize the pressure is on. They're going to dive in. Stanley gets launched in Shockwave. Rapid Star instantly. Rapid Star rebirth will drop. Rapid Star goes down. Woong trying to pull something out here. Stanley with the ball on him. He's going to jump back onto Rowan. Woong going to get dropped. Side-by Assassin are destroying, one might say, assassinating Azubu Frost. Toys really is in absolute dominant form, proving why Oriana's been banned 2 games already and many games before this one. You do not allow him, and well, I'm seeing on the screen, it is a surrender!
The sheer domination and momentum coming out from TPA led to Azubu Frost surrendering in the 3rd game, because you could actually do that back then. Now leading the series 2-1, TPA could feel the World Championship was within their grasp.
He's trying to teleport. He's not going to get a chance
trapped.
to. He is trapped. Has he managed to escape it though? Will that little pixie get spotted? He has. Mad Life's going to go down. There's no way in hell he's ever going to escape this one. The kill's being given to Toys. But Mistake and Little Balls all waiting, just hoping that they're going to go a little bit too far forward and pick them off.
They do not know Little Ball's in this turret. He cleared it with the Oracles. They might try to go aggressive on room. Here it comes.
They do, and the cleaver goes in. It's Mad Life they tried to go for, but Shyvana immediately responds. Have they got the damage to turn this around? Little Balls pops his ultimate. Now Templar taking down very low. That's an Oracle blocked off by Mad Life. Superb play there. Woong manages to get Little Balls down. That's going to be Mad Life going down as well. Mistake has to back out. Really good exchange for Azubu Frost, despite the fact they were completely unaware that he was in there. Oh, Shy's going aggressive. He's going deep on Stanley. He's not going to be able to take him down. Not a chance. Toys in the meantime takes down the middle lane. Stanley coming in behind them. They caught them out here in a pincer move. Is it going to be enough? Mistake's getting caught down. Mistake's going to get burst down. That's an Oracle down. And now Woong going to come in this one. Lil Balls is trying to push the pressure. Stanley ultimate coming on Toys. We can pan the camera down. We might be able to catch
Shockwave!
Shockwave gaps on towards Mad Life. Rapid Star. Rapid Star gets dropped. 2 drop barrage gets across the entire team. Cloud Templar now caught out. Cloud Templar goes out to Lil Balls. They continue pushing on and they quickly disengage. Taipei Assassins can go for what they want. The pigs go down. They're going for Baron. Woong dodging away from Lil Balls there, but there is super minions coming in. They are on the final Nexus turret poke, and Shy is getting dropped already. BB to a 3-shot barrage going across there, and that's going to be Cloud Templar ultimate across, but he didn't even manage to catch on towards Stanley. There's the Lulu ultimate, but it's not enough. There is no damage coming out from Azubu Frost. Taipei Assassins to do no. The Shockwave pulls in Cloud Templar. BB picks up a kill on Chase there. Shy goes down. Mad Life getting stripped. Oriana picks up another kill. Taipei Assassins are the Season 2 World Champions.
The underdogs from Southeast Asia had done it. From a team of nobodies to taking out the biggest tournament in League of Legends history, TPA would go on to be the first team ever to receive commemorative world skins consisting of Shen, Mundo, Ezreal, Nunu, and of course, Toys' iconic Oriana. Still, to this day, they're the only team to ever take down Korean and Chinese teams in a world championship, a feat that no one has been able to replicate in the 12 years since this tournament. However, unfortunately, this would turn out to be the peak of TPA's success. After the World Championship, TPA would enter a couple more tournaments, but they never found quite the same success that they found on the world stage. Maybe the meta didn't favour them, or maybe the element of surprise and their strategies being unknown was what helped them get over the finish line. One by one, the members of TPA began to go their separate ways, but one of their stories would turn out to be far more eventful than anyone expected. First, Stanley would retire, stating, "Well, I'll be leaving TPA at the end of June. There's a huge change of the metagame in Season 3. Not only the pace of the game is more intense, but the change of champions are also faster. We became the Taipei Assassins in April 2012. Toys and Bebe joined the team at the end of April and made TPA stronger than ever. People didn't think we could make it far in the beginning, and we got many bad comments, but we didn't let anything beat us down, and we treated every game as an excellent opportunity to practice and improve our skills. We wanted to prove to everyone that we could do much better because we knew that we were strong, but we never thought TPA were going to be the champions of Season 2. I still remember standing on the stage and listening to the crowd cheering for us. When we went backstage, every one of us was too shocked and touched that no one really said a word. I looked at Toys and said to him, "Hey, it's the Season 2 World Champion," and Toys just dropped a tear and couldn't say anything. Before that, I thought Toys was the kind of guy that never cried. Next on the retirement list would be the team's star mid laner, Toys, due to developing carpal tunnel syndrome from the long hours of practicing. My journey of esports in Taiwan has ended after almost 2 years. From just a normal enthusiastic player that thirsted for victory like everyone else, I became a pro gamer with a bit of luck and chance. Do nothing but the best. This is the principle I've always been sticking onto and trying very hard for every game I played to prove myself. But honestly, the road ahead is not easy at all. I'd been practicing for more than 10 hours a day and I started to feel numbness and pain in my wrist. But I couldn't help myself and I continued practicing even when I was diagnosed with carpal tunnel syndrome. After the Season 2 World Championship, there were games like SWL, NGF, All-Stars, GPL where I didn't meet the expectations that people have for TPA. We lost again and again, and I can't explain how bad I felt about those critics and the pressure that I had. Every time I checked the forums and read about how people blamed me and criticized me, I felt so bad that I couldn't sleep. For a while, I had to rely on sleeping pills just so I could get some sleep. Things like my nationality are not something I can change, and I sometimes wondered why I wasn't Taiwanese. Therefore, I just had to accept those critics. The faith that I had to fight for Taiwan somehow vanished, and after 1 month's long thinking, I made the decision to leave the team. I know very well that a lot of people support me, and I really appreciate that. Maybe some people don't like me, but I'm still thankful that you pointed out what my problems were. Toys' friend and mentor responded to this with a tweet, saying, "I wish I could stop you, but you've made up your mind. I beg you don't go, but I already know, I know you're leaving, we're losing heroes." Over the next few years, the players of TPA would go their separate ways, with nearly all of their former players now creating content on either YouTube or Twitch. However, for Toys, there was a slightly different path that he was about to head down. After he retired, he returned to pro play in 2015 for the team HKE, or Hong Kong Esports. And they were playing really well.
After
taking down his former team, TPA, in a 3-2 reverse sweep, hype for the roster was at an all-time high. However, after almost making it back to Worlds again, Toys would seemingly, out of the blue, post a cryptic message to his Facebook page. Inside of this statement, there's a hidden message when read vertically. This hidden message roughly translates to, "I don't think anyone knows, but they forced me to engage in match fixing. Sorry, but I can't do things that go against my values." The uproar when the community found out about this forced Garena to launch an investigation, where it was found that HKE's management instructed the team to throw their series against MSE because this would lead to TPA being eliminated in playoffs due to their points. Because of this controversy, in January 2016, HKE's management would officially remove Toys from their lineup for the spring 2016 season. This sparked a series of controversies between Toys and HKE's owner that would last for quite some time. Once the former world champion went on to form another team later that year, HKE chose to pursue legal action and sue Toys, claiming that the contract he'd signed included a non-compete clause, and that clause lasted for the next 7 years. Predatory contracts in esports are still pretty common today, but back when the scene was young, they were much more common and much more brutal. You can still see the effects of this in more recent events, like when Tfu's contract with FaZe Clan was leaked and it showed that the organization was able to take up to 80% of his revenue.
These contracts are not okay and this needs to never happen again. And there's tons of people in contracts this bad, just like me.
And that was only 4 years ago, so you can imagine how much worse it was when the scene was still in its infancy. After a long legal battle, the owner of Hong Kong Esports would emerge on top, and Toys was ordered to pay a settlement of 2.1 million Hong Kong dollars, but the matter was far from over. In 2019, Toys released his autobiography, which described how he grew up in a low-income family in Hong Kong, started working at the age of 17, and after he finally stepped into the world of esports and won the World Championship, all of the contract disputes and drama that would follow. HKE's CEO would once again take aim at the former world champion, uploading a 14-minute long video claiming that information in the book regarding the differences between the two of them was inaccurate. Toys would once again have to go to court and was eventually ordered to pay another 220,000 Hong Kong dollars. Unfortunately, after this, Toys' journey would take a more serious turn for the worse. Why it came to this is still unclear, but one thing for certain is that the Taiwanese government takes matters like this very seriously. In June 2022, Toys was sentenced to 4 years and 2 months in prison for, quote, selling cannabis online. Although this is way less serious than the rest of the world, Asia's laws around drug use are extremely strict, with the length of most sentences for possession being around 10 years. In Singapore, it can even get you the death penalty. This caused a big stir in the Taiwanese community, with some celebrities even posting pictures of them smoking in support of the Season 2 world champion. Earlier this year, his sentence officially began, prompting an outpouring of support from his fanbase. You broke the law, you gotta serve the time. That much is true, but that has nothing to do with your legacy. Taiwan League of Legends esports scene wouldn't even get the chance to be separated from the GPL and put on the map if TPA didn't win. You're the reason that Froggen became an Anivia main. You made regions re-evaluate how mid was played. You got Orianna nerfed to the floor and Athene's Unholy Grail reworked and removed. You will always be a part of League of Legends and will still be respected as such by many foreign fans for what you achieved together with your underdog team. Do your dues to society, serve your time, and then leave for better pasture. Thank you again to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. You can play the game for free today by using my link in the description down below.